A warm welcome and good evening to everyone present here. The Novus 2020 focuses on engaging students in virtue of knowledge sharing. We are always stuck in between the industrial and technological revolution. Understanding the key trends, advancements, and technological transfer will guide each individual from a beginner to a developing entrepreneur, engineer, or researcher, and even more. Let's think practically here for a second. Technology is going to rule the world within the next 50 years, from a small bud to a big submarine. Everything needs strong basics and technology for its innovation. Herewith, we hope that this webinar series will provide a significant lead and guidance in conquering each individual's dream. This is the last day of our Novus 2020 webinar and podcast series. I welcome you all once again to today's session. Feedback form will be posted in the chat box at the end of today's session. All right. The team Novus today has collected a pack of questions for the speaker, and the speaker is going to address the question to his best. With much excitement and pleasure, I welcome our chief guest and speaker, Mr. Chingakham Chinglenthoiba John, researcher, School of Material Science and Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Calicut. I request all the participants to switch off your mics and video. So, to introduce the speaker, Mr. John is a research scholar in Applied Nano Engineering Laboratory, School of Material Science and Engineering, NIT Calicut. The passion of research was ignited at very young age for Thoiba. Currently, he is working in green fuel and heterogeneous catalysts as his PhD work under the guidance of Dr. V. Sajid in Fuel and Combustion Research Lab. He works mostly in waste material for producing the green catalyst. He believes in waste to energy ideology. He completed his BTech in Mechanical Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, 2014, and MTech in Nanoscience and Technology from Pondicherry University, 2016. He joined in NIT Calicut as a full-time PhD in School of Nanoscience and Technology in July 2016. Apart from research, he loves cooking and painting. He is known for his selfless commitment and passion to his work and finds happiness in being in the laboratory. I welcome Mr. Thoiba, Mr. John once again. Now the stage is yours. Kindly take your turn.
Yeah, hello, vanakkam everyone. I must say vanakkam because I was brought up from Tamil Nadu. I was there from 2010 to 2016. I was there in Tamil Nadu, and I feel so good to say vanakkam to everyone. And I feel that most of the viewers are from the Chennai and Tamil Nadu based region. So anyway, thank you so much for the warm introduction about me. And I would love to share my own experience about the research in the field of the waste management, which is a very important part of the research I feel in this current days. So I would like to go each and every one what are all the questions given to me. So a brief introduction has already done by the interviewer about me. Yes, I hail from Manipur, and since from the very small age, though I was born in Manipur, I was brought up from my entire schooling was done from Hyderabad. From 5th to 12th, I was in Hyderabad, and then from my BTech and MTech, I was in the part of Chennai, and as well as from Asa, I was in the Pondicherry region, and my PhD is from Kerala. So basically, you can say that my entire life was in the southern part of India. So I'm very much passionate about my research, and I would like to talk more about all the questions what the interviewer has already sent me. And when I read the question, I feel that it was like kind of very so real, that question. And in another 2 days, I have my PhD defense. I was planning to make a slide for this particular webinar, but due to my very hectic time schedule, because I have to make a slide for my PhD defense, which is very, very important for me, because I have worked hard so much from last many years just to receive this final degree. So I feel I was not having a proper time to make a presentation slide, but I would like to share all the links which I used for doing my PhD and all the important information. I would like to share to Brinda as well as the Novus team. So I will like to start with your question, and thank you so much for having me in your webinar session.
Thank you, sir. And we have a certain questions for the speaker today. So let me start with the questions, and participants, if you have any queries, kindly post it in the chat box. Engage yourself as much as possible, and at any instance, participants, if you have any questions, post it in the chat box.
Yeah.
So, sir, shall we begin?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. The question number one is energy is crucial need for the society, particularly renewable sources of energy that are available in nature. Kindly share your thoughts and experience in this realm.
Okay, yeah, it's a very relevant question in this current scenario. That if you see that today's world, we cannot live and we can't run this world without a source of energy. Let we say any energy in terms of the solar energy or the wind energy or any kind of source of energy. But the thing is that most of our world completely depends on the fossil fuel based energy, that is the coal and kind of coal products as well as the petroleum products from the fossil fuel. But we know that all the coal and the petroleum based on the fossil fuel, the ultimate byproduct of this is carbon dioxide or harmful other NOx and SOx gases, which leads to to disturb the entire environment, as well as it also leads to increase of the global warming because of greenhouse. So that's why we have to switch on to the green energy, either be as solar energy or the wind energy. But basically, since from a very childhood, I was very much interested in the waste material. So I thought of to work on the base of the biofuel base, which my whole research is based on the biodiesel. But in biodiesel, I focus on the heterogeneous catalyst, which is mainly produced from the waste materials, such as waste eggshell, waste animal bones, fish bones. I do a different type of the catalyst multiple synthesis reaction, and through the synthesis multiple reaction, we can obtain a beautiful structure and beautiful kind of chemical compound which I need from my as a heterogeneous catalyst. So that's why I thought of to work in the biodiesel, because most of the kind of thermal power plant or most of the engine, kind of heavy engine, works on the base of diesel engine, diesel-based petroleum fuel. So we cannot say no directly to the kind of a diesel engine. So instead of saying no, we need to modify either based on the fuel, based on the engine. To modify based on the engine, we need to buy a new kind of engine setup, which is going to be a huge kind of cost kind of effective. So that's why I need to work on something that we need to replace the diesel with a certain green fuel that's we found as a biodiesel. So biodiesel is normally made from the plant-based or animal fats, which need to do a multiple reaction called transesterification. And from the transesterification, we could get this particular a green fuel as a biodiesel, and its byproduct are biodiesel as well as the glycerol. So we don't need the glycerol, so it is our another waste product for us. But we need to focus more on yield of the biodiesel from the waste material, like kind of animal bone as kind of heterogeneous catalyst. So the idea of biodiesel starts at a very small age. It is a brief story about my own life that my father used to have a yellow color scooter. It was very kind of interesting for us that whenever he goes for the office, back then in around 1995, 96, like that, most of the vehicle used to produce a lot of smoke. So I think if you guys from 90s, you might remember that we used to have a lot of smoke in a tailpipe. So whenever my father used to go for his office, he start his scooter, and which gives a huge fume of black smoke in our house compound. And because of this huge like full with carbon dioxide and monoxide filled smoke, we could never say what kind of proper good use for his office. So I used to ask my father that why does your scooter produce a lot of smoke? And though he is not from the mechanical based engineer or something, so he says that there is a huge problem either based on the engine or maybe in the fuel. So from a very small age, I was stuck with the mindset that there can be we can do a little bit of research about to reduce the smoke at the smoke tail of the vehicle. So it was the beginning of the first step of mine towards the research, and then from onward, I came to know that the mechanical engineer can lead me towards the touch with the engines and all. And then further, I came to know that it's not only about the mechanical engineer. We should also understand about the materials also, because people who work on the material can really help out through the basic knowledge of the mechanical and the material base. So that's why I did my master in nanotechnology and my PhD in the material base. So what I want to come to the point of your question is that yes, in today's world, we need we need lots of energy to run this world. So I feel that the easiest way at the cheapest rate, what we can find is that the biofuel are one of the most interesting green energy. Biofuel, even recently, even the microalgae is also one big source that the algae can produce a biodiesel, because this algae we can grow this algae on any kind of wasteland. You think that if this piece of land is no use, you can just have a setup of microalgae where you can grow the microalgae, and through the microalgae you can extract the lipids out of that. From that lipids you can make the biodiesel. So I feel that microalgae is another next level of the future of the biodiesel. So since I did not do the research in the solar cell or the battery or supercapacitor, so I don't want to pass a comment on that. But since as a researcher from the biodiesel, I feel that the next level steps of the biodiesel is the microalgae. It is the next ultimate step of the upcoming green fuel. So I feel that even our government also started to think about the biodiesel. That's why if you see the buses in Bangalore and all, the bus runs with the biodiesel. I feel it's quite late as compared to the other European countries like USA, Canada, and Germany and all, where they completely run based on all diesel engine is completely switched with the biodiesel. But we also starting with this kind of biodiesel based of vehicle. Yes, there is a good option with the supercapacitor and the battery, but I feel that we can't simply jump directly to the supercapacity base or the battery base, because we need to go step by step. So if you are planning to go by step, I'll be happy if somebody is opting to jump into the kind of supercapacitor based kind of vehicle. But in the same time, even microalgae and as well as the biodiesel based engine is one of the most easiest way to start with the green fuel. So based on this, my context, I would like to say that it is right time to switch to the green fuel rather than we slip off from our hand, because I feel that in another 40 to 50 years, probably we may or may not exist because of the energy crisis, and as well as the excess of global warming effect. The ice are melting at the polar caps, and it's going to be a very bad scenario. We have to act right now rather than to wait for someone to come up as a superhero. So everyone has a superhero over here. So if you feel that to act with the action right now, it is the right time. So I feel that we all have to think in the green way to start up the research, to have a startup based on the green fuel based or the green kind of source of energy. So I think we are a little bit late, but still, nevertheless, we should not give up. We can do it, but if we take one step at a time. So this is the energy crisis problem, and we have a solution. So you are a part of the solution.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And the next question is few words about your recent article, Waste Animal Bone as a Novel Layered Heterogeneous Catalyst for the Trans-esterification of Biodiesel. How did you do that, and how did you get that idea?
Yeah, well, this was my first publication in my PhD, and in our life, everything first is always kind of very special in our hearts. And yes, that like, to be frank, this research article, I thought it was a failure because when I read the research article, I I found that the nobody have made the layered heterogeneous catalyst from the like from the waste animal bone. Because I have read so many papers based on animal bone based heterogeneous catalyst, but but I found that the when we did the because during my master I joined at Hyderabad one of my research lab for my MTech project. So in that, I was exposed into the hydrothermal synthesis reaction. So hydrothermal synthesis reaction became one of my most interesting reaction to my knowledge of synthesis. And this particular I thought that since I was expertise doing my master in the hydrothermal reaction, I thought that I will try to use as a two-step process. First, everyone does with the calcination, but I thought that what if I do from the calcination with the hydrothermal? So on that basis, just for out of kind of curiosity, out of the excitement, I took the material which was already calcined one for the next step of the hydrothermal. So when we say normally hydrothermal reaction, if you read the paper, most hydrothermal reaction goes on for like around 12 hours of reaction because most hydrothermal doesn't happen within the 1 hour or 2 hours. Yeah, maybe there, but I have never come across so far. But most of the hydrothermal happens for the long-term reaction. Maybe because it takes much time to come out with that, the reaction. What are we looking for? So first, I did the reaction for 48 hours, and then when we observed in the scanning electron microscope, it was found that all the material were having kind of stack layer, like kind of it was like kind of piece of booklet that we have a layer by layer. And I thought that it was not my material. I thought that it was wrong. So I discussed with my supervisor, and my supervisor asked that let's do a time interval based. Let's see how this stack form. So we started with the 6 hours reaction, 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours, and then we went to the 48 hours. So if you read my paper, you will come to know that every material as per time dependence. So this layer was increasing. So as you know that working as in the field of heterogeneous catalyst, we should always make sure that we have enough surface area because surface area plays a very important role in the field of the catalyst, right? So if you have a more amount of stack layer, that means that it helps to increase the surface area of the material. So for us, it is a good point, but we don't have the proper reason that why it's having the stack layer. And then we have read enough paper and we come up with a new theory called the Oswald repinning. So in the Oswald repinning, it states that every small materials comes up and bind together to form a larger material so that it can have a minimum surface energy. So based on that, we have reported with the Oswald repinning theory, and then we have reported as a noble synthesis to make as a layered heterogeneous catalyst. You might be thinking that every material which undergoes to the hydrothermal might be end up with the layer, but it's not in that way. So it depends on your materials to materials. So as those who are working on the catalyst, you can just go and try with the hydrothermal. You may not get the layer structure with this hydrothermal, but indeed you may end up with a very unique structure. So if you can find out the theory behind the unique structure, it will be a very good novel approach on your material. So this was the first material which I synthesized during my PhD. So, and it's very interesting for me that I was very excited, and because of my excitement and anxiety has led me to the publication of this first paper, and it was published in the Catalyst Letter in the Springer Nature. Was about. So people who are planning to work on a catalyst base, I just want you guys to give a try. Give a try by doing hydrothermal reaction. You are just working with just only kind of calcination. Let the process be as a two-step procedure by adding a hydrothermal reaction. With hydrothermal reaction, definitely your structure will be changed for sure. But how did you how do you approach and how you come up with the theory base is very important. That is your task. That is your duty to find out what is the reason behind this kind of structure. So it's my suggestion that if you want to see a new, unique and very kind of interesting structure, I suggest you to try with hydrothermal. It's very interesting. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We have some questions from the participants, which we will be focusing on at the end of the session. First, I will complete the questions from our side. The next question is: you have received UNESCO Young Scientist Award. How did you feel when you received the award, and how youngsters should apply for the the award?
Okay, you mean that the UNESCO award?
Yes, the same.
Okay, yeah. So no, actually, your voice was cutting down, so I had a confusion. Okay, anyway, this particular UNESCO award, it happens every year. This is not direct from the UNESCO. This is supported and funded by the UNESCO team because there is a forum called the Global Engineering Future, so GEF. So if you follow in all the social media, just you search as the Global Engineering Future. It is a non-organization kind of team where they conduct so many interesting competition at the global level. So, but however, the one which I applied was funded and was recognized by the UNESCO because March 4th, every year, 4th of March, the UNESCO celebrate the day as a World Engineers Day. So for this particular day, UNESCO was planning to conduct for all the global engineering research competition. So in that, I just participated because I got a link through a WhatsApp group. It was completely on the okay. So based on this competition is mainly for all the researchers who are working on the sustainable energy, as well, which also counts on the green fuel or energy, which also counts on the safe drinking water. It also counts on the ecosystem above the water, under the water, based on the. There's so many things. So for those people who wants to participate, but by the Global Engineering Future team, they are going to organize a competition. So in this competition is not part of the UNESCO, but still it is a work to apply this competition at the world global level. So every year they choose around 15 to 10 researchers from around the world, and if you can get to until the final round, you will be kind of awarded with a certificate signed from the different organizations. So when I applied, it was through the help of the UNESCO. That's why I got a certificate which was signed by the UNESCO member. However, they focus mainly on the list of the certain topics like safe drinking water, green energy, waste management. And I would like to share the link to you, Brinda. Actually, I'm very sorry. I should have made this PPT, but because I have a defense coming up in another 2 days, so I was really busy with my defense presentation. I was working on it. So, but I would like to share all the links what I have gone through, and especially for this UNESCO program. It's not only just the UNESCO, but it is through the help of the Global Engineering Future Group. So it's based on the time to time. So if you apply during the month of the January to February, because in the month of March we have a World Engineers Day which is going to celebrate by the UNESCO. So that's why it depends. Your certificate depends from which kind of series of competition you are applying for. So right now, September 28 is the one deadline for this particular competition, which is going to conduct by the same organization. It's a global engineering future. And for the year 2020, we have 15 finalists. Out of 15 finalists, I was one of the 15 finalists, and from that 15 finalists, I was the only person from our country, India. So probably we have a general meeting election on September 12th. Right now, I don't want to say that I am, but based on the general meeting election, I will be in charge for the particular base of country base or a continent base. So I apply that I want to become the representative of our India. So if I get a chance to become the representative of this India, then I have the right to nominate the student from our country, the right candidate who is working on the relevant topics like kind of sustainable energy, waste management, and clean drinking water. Yes, I work in the waste management, but I applied under the section of clean drinking water because they are looking for a certain kind of researcher where they want you to apply not only from your part of PhD. They want you to apply outside the PhD field of work. So with my material, I can also work for the purification of drinking water. So this was my my kind of proposal which I have applied for it. So that means overall they are looking for some person. They are looking for the researcher who has a versatile in the field of research. They want you to work. Yeah, obviously you are doing great with your PhD topic, but in the same time you want you to become a researcher, which you can work for the work based on the water base. You have to become a very versatile in your working style. So that's what they are looking for. They know that I work in the waste material for heterogeneous catalysts, but they were impressed when I wrote a proposal based on like how to clean the water and removal of the metal ion, removal of the dye from the water, so that you can give out the safe drinking water at the cheapest cost. So they really concentrate on these kind of topics about the cheap cost, on the global solution. So this is a project which I have applied for it, and if somebody is working on any kind of material, and if you think that you have a versatile thinking of research, you'll be the right person to apply for it. And after the general meeting election, I would like to give a note that if I become the representative of our country, then I have a right to nominate the person. So I will. So those who are watching right now, if you feel that you can apply for this competition, you please write an email to me, and please send me your CV so that I can help you to nominate you from our India. So people who are keen to apply for this UNESCO will be really helpful. And this particular UNESCO certificate, it really helped me, because when I start to apply for my postdoc, it was my kind of a power booster. So those who are planning to apply for a postdoc after your PhD, this has really helped me. So I say to everyone that you to have a certain like highly certified prize or award from different organizations during your PhD. That will be very helpful for applying your postdoc or your job training there. So I would like to share this link to you after someday, so that you can update in your YouTube channel. It's over to you.
Yeah. So I have one question from my side. Like, what are the eligibility criteria for applying to this award, like UNESCO award?
Yeah. Okay. The person should be doing or complete his or her PhD from any institute, regardless whether you are from the national level or a central level or state level. They don't care, but they want he or she should be enrolled in a PhD program. This is one.
Yes, thank you. And next question is a brief ideology about your PhD work. So you're going to defend your PhD in a short while. So this question will be apt, I think so.
Yeah, when I saw your all list of questions, I was like, oh my god, this sounds more tougher than my PhD questions. Anyway, like, for me, like from the very beginning of my PhD, not from the even before starting my PhD, I had a strong mindset that PhD is not just for degree that what I'm doing. PhD something is like you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice the all your time. Your time, your loved one. You have to sacrifice so many things. So, like for me, PhD is a huge kind of chapter of my life, and it changed me. And and I love the new me what I've seen during my PhD. So PhD, I feel that I just want to tell this to every junior who is in a kind of a master level or who is still thinking to join PhD. That please do not join PhD if you're thinking of PhD as an option, because when you come to a PhD and you will have a lot of frustration in between because we all are human beings and this will come true for sure. There'll be many nights that you'll be crying for not getting paper. There'll be many nights you'll be kind of struggling that to submit your manuscript to get your reaction at the done thing in a very right way. So there'll be a time that you'll be having so much of kind of frustration. So but in the time you will have a thought that what if what if I have joined this kind of colleges as assistant professor? What if I apply the bank job after my MTech? So this kind of question will come. So this question is gonna really kill your motivation. So I say that the PhD is not an option. PhD is something which you do and dedicate with your entire time, your life. You spend everything on that work. So my experience during PhD is it's really wonderful, and still today I love being in my lab. That's what I said in my introduction also. I love being in my lab. I love doing research. I love reading papers, and the best part about PhD, I must say that the moment when you receive your first author paper, this is one of the most fresh, happiest moment that I can say. And second is that the moment you just realize that any kind of synthesis, what you do is that you found kind of a eureka moment. Yay, I got it. No, like moment. It might be a kind of second. It might not last a long time, but this is a spark of your PhD life. So I is that the PhD is hard. So it all depends even on your supervisor. So if your supervisor is really, really helpful, if the supervisor is really understanding you, I think that your 60% of your PhD is almost done. So PhD in the supervisor also plays a very important role. So I'm very glad and I'm very thankful for my guide because he was the one who really understood me and who helped me to bring out the best inside me. So make sure that when you apply a PhD, you should always understand, about the nature of your future supervisor, because that's very important. Once you join, that you're going to stay over there for at least 4 to 5 years or more than that. So if you join in the right place, you will bloom out. If you join in the wrong place, you might shrink. You might be dying inside you. So make sure that you choose your guide wisely. You have to do a small research before you apply your PhD in the particular group. And then number two is that surround yourselves with positive energy people. See, we all are kind of different spectrums of human kind of positive and negative vibe energy people. Okay, there's a huge spectrum, so we cannot define that. From the good and bad, there is a huge spectrum. So when I do my PhD, I segregate the people. People who gives a positive energy to me. I like to kind of surround myself with these people, because PhD without the motivation is like you are on the kind of like a hot desert without a chapel or without a sandal. You're going to burn, you're going to hate your life because you cannot walk even kind of further step. But if you surround yourself during a PhD with the huge positive energy who loves you so much, who give you positive vibe, who help you to pull up when you fall down. So these are the very important people. So always surround your life with the right person. And thirdly, I must say that your loved one is going to help you so much. So during a PhD, it's very important to have a loved one, be as your wife or husband or girlfriend or boyfriend. Because if your loved one really understands you, if your loved one really loves you, he or she, no matter what, will support you in your tough time. So we need such kind of people. So I'm very grateful to my girlfriend that she stood in the all tough time of PhD life. She's also a PhD scholar from IIT Kharagpur, and she was there even in my toughest time of my life. And now I feel that I have come to the good stage of my PhD life, and now she is really struggling with her first paper not. So, and it's my duty to give a support to her so that to make her to realize that even in the midst of dark phase, I'm there for her. So it's very important to have a loved one even doing a PhD. So I feel that these three people is okay. Those who come to PhD, definitely they are brilliant students. Okay, that's why they chose to do the PhD, right? Because PhD is the highest degree. But what difference brings you out is that with these three people, your guide and your surrounding and your loved one. And these are the three people which really changed my life during a PhD. PhD is really, really hard. So if you have the three people around you, a good guide, really supporting background, can be from your family, from your group, or your friend circle, and then and third one, your loved one, be it as your wife or husband, or girlfriend or boyfriend. So it's very important to treat in your life to achieve this degree with the more graceful and with more experience, with the good memories, rather than saying that I don't like my PhD. It was really hard and it was so painful. So surround with these three people. This is my advice.
Yeah. The next question is waste management and recycling. How far it is important to the people and your thoughts about
Sorry,
it?
I will
Waste
read.
management,
Okay.
waste management and recycling. How far it is important to the people and your thoughts about it?
Okay. Yeah. So in this today's world, as the number of the human population increases, that we see a lot of waste product coming out from the house, be it as a kitchen waste or industrial waste or the electronic waste. These are the three major waste what I see. Among them, plastic waste is also a big major factor. So the only option is that we can't do anything. So we cannot simply dump everything and just pile up. The more you pile up, the more kind of huge problem we will suffer by us. Not only us, for our future generation, for our kids, our grandkids. So I'm really concerned about the upcoming generation people. So I don't want them to blame on our generation that our forefather really destroyed the world. But the reality is that it's really happening. So the only option is that recycling is one of the best thing that we can do. So I will be very happy, and in my postdoc work, I'm going to focus on the recycling of the plastic waste and the recycling of the e-waste. So these two topics I'm going to touch during my postdoc, which will be a future work. So so this is the right thing that we have to do, and we can't just do it alone by not just a researcher can help the entire world problem. Even the government also need us. So government need us and we need government. So it's like kind of a relationship between the two organizations. So scientists alone cannot do the entire work, and at the same time, government alone cannot do the whole work. So that's why these two people, these two organizations, the government and the scientists or any researcher should join together and work for it. So whatever the researcher is saying, that the government has to listen. So I feel that so that's where the country like kind of Canada or New Zealand, they can easily cope up, they can easily fight against any kind of pollution control, any kind of you see that in the pandemic that in New Zealand has already declared as a maskless country. So because the government really listen what the researchers are speaking about. So that's why these two teams has to work together. So that's why the only option is that we have, or the only option that we can deal with the waste management is recycling, which is what I'm doing right now. So in the same time, I cannot heal the world by myself. So let my voice be the voice for those people for the which can help to reach the government. So the government need to understand that they have to take the advice from us also, from the researchers and scientists. So recycling can be really come into the picture only when these two organizations, the government and the scientists, works together hand in hand.
Yeah, that's nice to know. And few words about NIT Calicut and how master's students should apply for a PhD in NIT Calicut, like tips, do's and don'ts while applying PhD.
Yes. Okay. Me being in the Department of Material Science and Engineering, I can give enough lights based on how does the PhD selection goes on. So we have two entry. One is a winter and one is a monsoon. So in this monsoon, most of the application, the online websites will be opening in the month of March or April, and it closed in the month of May, I guess. So and the interviews start from the month of first week of June, like that. It's very important that since our department, most of the faculties are from mechanical based background with the PhD degree material. So we mainly focus for material engineering background with the master with the either nanotechnology or with the material science background, because it is the best combination of our department research group, because all the projects what we have are mainly applicable by the mechanical background with the material engineering as a master degree. Like, and having said that, I'm not saying that this is the only criteria. It's completely based on your merit skill. It's completely based on how you perform in your PhD interview. That's very important. But as a number of all the faculties are from the mechanical background, they love to guide the student with mechanical based student, because all the work and projects are going to deal with kind of thermal heat related and with the strength of the material base kind of related. But we have a diverse in our kind of research. They are with the electronic backgrounds are there and with the biology backgrounds are there. So if you just please go through the NITC website and go through the our department, School of Material Science and Engineering. If you see all the faculty list, you can see some of the faculty are from science background, some of the faculties are from engineering background with mechanical as a degree. So I'm just talking on behalf of as a majority. So people who are working with a mechanical background and a master from either nanotechnology or material science, it is a right combination to apply in our department for a PhD. And having said that, I'm not saying that you will be the right choice. The right choice are those people who have the attitude of doing research, as well as your skill, your knowledge doing your MTech, what we have done should be really, really strong. And and people come up with at least one paper with them. So if you are having one research article, it would be really helpful to apply for your PhD. And those who are coming from science background, please make sure that you come with the either GATE score or else the next scorecard with the JRF. So it will be really helpful for those kind of thing. And all the toppers from the university, if you can apply the inspired research fellow, it will be really helpful for you to apply in our department. But please make sure that you see to our website and check that what are the current projects that we are doing. So if you feel that your MTech project is like quite similar with the work what we are going through right now, and you can always write a mail to any of the you want to apply. So on an overall note, I want to say that our department works that, and plus moreover, our institute NIT Calicut has boosted up the rank in the research in the top 8. NIT Calicut is the only NIT in the whole over India to be in the top 10. So recently there was a ranking based on I forgot the name of the ranking. I think so. It was a ranking. Yeah, I think it was a rating. Okay. Based on that particular ranking, we ranked as a 8th position. So based on that particular ranking, that means that it is a ranking completely based on your kind of research ethics and all. So we are very good as compared to all the NITs. So the people who are planning to apply, you can apply, and the stipend is like around for the moment you join, you'll be having stipend around 31,000, and after you clear the kind of complete exam, and there is another exam which we conduct within every 2 years of the PhD, that will be increased to 35,000 per month. And plus we have every year we have a contingency that help you to buy all the chemical, all the care brands, and all the costs will be that can cover up. So so those who are planning to apply in our institute, you please make sure that please check the website and see all the profile and what are the current project, what's going on. And those are from science background, it will be always helpful if you come with the net score. And those are from the engineering background with the mechanical as well as the material science, will have more kind of chances to you might be in the good list. I'm not saying that you will get it, but it's completely based on the merit. But make sure that you come up with at least one research article that will be really, really helpful for you. I think this helps.
Yeah. And last question is like your general advice for youngsters and juniors in the field of research, as well as like why do you want to be as a scientist?
Brinda, your voice is cutting out. Can you please tell me that?
Your general advice for youngsters and juniors in the field of research, and why do you want to be as a scientist?
Okay, sure. What I want to say to all the young juniors who wants to apply for PhD is that please do not consider PhD as an option. That's what I want to say the very first thing. If your mind is clear that you should join a PhD, there should be no option called that I want to apply a job, I want to apply and do PhD and convert to department. I don't know that what is the meaning of PhD according to your dictionary, but my dictionary, PhD means a lot. You need to focus, you need to sacrifice. In my entire PhD, I went home just 30 days in whole 4 years, I guess. I went to 15 days. You need to sacrifice so much thing. If you feel that if you can't spend much time or PhD stands for me, P stands for your passion, and H stands for hard work, and D stands for dedication. So PhD, kind of passion, hard work, and dedication should be a main factor. So these three are very important, and make sure that you always surround with the positive people and have a loved one, and choose your guide wisely, and make sure that the work, what you're going to do, should be loved by you. See, I don't want to work on certain topics, but the work that I want to do is very important. So if you love something, if you love the work, you will be really excelling. You will be excelling in in your field of your research. So choose the work, or when you apply for PhD, see the what kind of project that you're going to get. So if you think that this project is right for you, you love it, and I'm sure that when you love the work, you'll be really excelling in your PhD. So love your work, and the passion, hard working, dedication is very important in the PhD, and the have a and let's have a prayerful life. It's very important. Prayer helps you to remove the fear out of you, be it any kind of faith that you follow. So have a prayerful life. That's very important. And the reason that why I want to become a scientist, I don't have a specific reason that why I should become a scientist, but the more you learn or the more you do in a PhD, you feel that you don't know anything. Now I'm going to get my PhD degree in a very short while, short coming days, but I feel so much of things to be learned. There are so much of things to be studied. There are so much of things to look deep inside, dive in the ocean and look at their vast knowledge. And I feel that for this, you need to have a very dedicated life. You need to have a very kind of a passion, hardworking. So I feel that I have this in me. And plus, moreover, I was really inspired by my uncle. My uncle was a second PhD from Manipur in 1970s. And in this time of 1970s, he completed his PhD, and then he did his postdoc, 3 postdoc in 1970s in USA, and he served in US for nearly 25 years, and he came back to India and worked as a scientist in CSIR lab. So now he's retired, and the way he talked, the way he dressed up was really inspiring for me. So I have a kind of inspiring kind of path that is my uncle. So when I see my uncle, I feel that I want to be him one day. One day I want to reach his level. I may not reach his level because he is extraordinary, in front of my eyes, because he loved research, and I love to talk to my uncle more than I speak to my parents, because my uncle really understands what is burning in my in my heart. So I have a burning sensation about my PhD and about my research. So my uncle always says that John, never stop your research after PhD. That will be a waste of your life, because because PhD is under the guidance of your supervisor, because whatever your guide says, you'll be like a spoon fed. So what if your guide says the reaction, you have to do the reaction. So never be because in the PhD time we are all spoon fed, because the topic is already designed by your guide, and your guide have already write the project for you, and you have applied the project and you join the project. So your guide have already known that what you're going to work on it. But in your postdoc, what happens that you have a freedom to do any kind of research. So the real ethics of research, the real passion of research will come out only when you hit at the postdoc level. So in your postdoc, you are the master of your own work. But above you, there'll be a supervisor who is the PI, who is very important. But you'll be working under PI, but you're going to guide many PhD students. You're going to design the work for your juniors. So you are master. So all the idea you have learned during a PhD is just a practice, but the real hands-on will start during a postdoc. So people who have finished or who are finishing or who are doing PhD or planning to PhD, I say that please have a thought on postdoc, because you will come to know that how good you are in the field of research only during a postdoc. So I suggest to everyone that you have a dream to achieve a very good postdoc. At the same time that in the PhD, what I want to give to the advice of our juniors is that the passions, hardworking, and dedication is very important in PhD. So wish you all the best. That's what I say.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The session was very informative and engaging. And we have some questions from the participants,
Yeah.
which is listed in the chat box.
I will get it. Yeah, sure. Okay, I will read one by one, then I will answer. Okay. participant, if you have kind. Okay, fine. So how to reduce the viscosity? I'm also working on certain valuable green fuel. And okay, fine. Yeah. I will collaborate. Yeah, because I believe in the collaboration. And sir, one to indirect technique that using a high. Okay, fine. For the viscosity of the biodiesel, when you work on the biodiesel, your viscosity should be below 6. So if you feel that your biology is having a very high viscosity, that means that your reaction is still incomplete. So you need to optimize the parameter until you get the viscosity within the range of, we have a certain parameter between the 3 to 6. So in that particular range of that particular viscosity, you have to bring down. And using the, okay, so I suggest you that if you want to work on heterogeneous catalyst right now, to work on a green catalyst with the loading of nanomaterials is very good option. So Mr. Ninkaraju, I say that if your viscosity is still high, you please continue the reaction because the viscosity of the oil has to come down to the biodiesel level, which is below 6. So please do more optimization of your work, and then you will definitely get within that particular range. And if you want to work on green catalyst, I say that working with the waste material as a base product source of your green catalyst is a very good option. But if you want to improve your behavior of the material, certain nanomaterials will really help you. So you can go to my Google Scholar and read all the papers based on heterogeneous catalyst. Any direct technique for using high. Okay, if you have a high free fatty acid oil, what happens is that you cannot, you have to go for a two-step process. You must be knowing, right? That first you need to do the esterification. So esterification will help you to bring the amount of free fatty acid. And then once your free fatty acid is very less, your acid value is less than 3, then you can go for a trans-esterification reaction. So if you have a very high free fatty acid, it might work. I have worked two sources of oil. One is the Pongami pinnata. So Pongami pinnata, you must be knowing, is a very commonly grown in the range of the southern part of India. So this Pongami pinnata has a high free fatty acid content. So we need to reduce by doing an esterification, and from esterification we need to do the trans-esterification. So you please go ahead with this suggestion, but I would love to answer you all the work. If you want to collaborate, I'll be very happy, and we believe in collaboration. Our lab, and especially my side, believes in collaboration. And you can take the email ID from Brenda, and you can please write a mail. But I can help you only after my defense, because I really want to concentrate in my PhD defense. I think so. All the questions have answered, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes. So I would like to professionally conclude the session with the vote of the thanks, and I ask Varshini Sriram to proceed with the vote of thanks.
Hi, Brinda. Hi, sir.
Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you? So I guess the session is now officially over. I would like to conclude it with the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
On behalf of everyone attending the meeting and our supporters, event organizer, I extend my hearty thanks to our speaker, Mr. John, for sharing his precious time with us and exchanging valuable information to our active participants. The session as a whole was very informative and engaging. I thank our participants who were cooperative and patient throughout the webinar series. Now I request Ms. Brinda Ramasubramaniam to give few words about this session.
Yeah, thank you, Varshini. So the session as a whole was very informative, and I thank Mr. John for sharing his precious time with us. I thank all the participants who were cooperative and patient. One thing I would like to highlight now, we all know many universities and colleges in India and international levels conduct these kinds of webinar sessions and try to attend them all. And the reason behind why I started this webinar series is not only to gain knowledge, it is to engage and share contacts with the people you see daily in the session. All the speakers who gave their talk in the series are always ready to help the student with free sharing of knowledge, make use of their contacts, and get along with the people freely. See, webinars are not only to gain knowledge, it is to gather people, irrespective of their age, gender, or any other stuff, but focusing only on scientific equality and domain. So that's the main reason that I had in my mind before starting this webinar. So, all right, my hearty thanks to all the participants.